What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Shy Go Gaming. This is AC Seraph here with my partner Ashy.
Hi guys.
And today we are playing Tekken 8 divided by 2. Tekken 8 is out, looks amazing. I played the demo. Don't have the game yet. Hope I will get the game soon. We will see. But anyhow, in the meantime, I am hungry for some Tekken. And been playing a lot of the older ones recently, but not 4. I haven't booted up 4 in quite a long time. So last night, I got my ISO of 4 ripped off of my Japanese PS2 disc. And we are going to be trying out Tekken 4 a little bit in the PlayStation 2 emulator PCSX2 with a very cool fan-made 16 by 9 widescreen hack. And also everything upscaled to 4K, so it looks pretty beautiful. So anyhow, sit back, relax, and enjoy seeing kind of a much earlier point in this awesome series. Let's kick some ass with Kazuya.
Welcome to the King of Iron Fist tournament.
And today I've got almost like 25 minutes, almost 30 minutes actually, to play, so we should be able to finish, I think. It's not a terribly long game. All the settings are on default difficulty. That's not easy, but it's not hard either. That's right.
Round 1. Fight.
And Kaguya here is kind of my sub-character, my go-to sub-character when I'm playing old Tekken games. My main character is Jun Kazama or Asuka Kazama, usually, but
Round 2.
the older games don't
Fight.
always have them. So, I also like Kazuya. I can, of course, since I can play Kazuya, I can play Heihachi or Jin, like Tekken 3. Acceptably well. But I like Kazuya the best of the two. It is cool. I like that the main character of the series is also the main bad guy of the series, and just generally a complete fucking asshole.
Round 1.
It's a
Fight.
risky choice. While Ryu was sitting around being golden boy the whole time in Tekken, or in Street Fighter, over in Tekken, we had Kazuya being a complete fucking asshole, and then being murdered by his own father in the second game. Pretty great.
You win.
Tekken 4 here is a little unique in that it has like terrain that has height to it, which actually can affect like how your combos work and that sort of thing. Kind of similar to what's done in Dead or Alive, the Dead or Alive series. It's the only Tekken game that uses it. I sort of vaguely recall that the fans didn't like it much at the time, but the fans kind of thought Tekken 4 was a bit of a downgrade from Tekken 3. I sort of agree. Like, I think Tekken 3, for me personally, is a bit better than Tekken 4. Same Tekken Tag Tournament 1 also. But despite that, like, 4 has its own flavor, and it is a good game. It's a really solid game, really interesting, kind of unique in the series. I think it's worth playing, even if it's not as good as 3 in my opinion. Still a good game. And it's not like just a lesser version of 5. In fact, it doesn't really feel anything like 5. It really feels like something in between the style of Tekken 3 and Tekken 5 is unquestionably my favorite in the series, although we'll see, because Tekken 8 looks pretty great. I got some, a few questions about the artistic choices being made in the new Tekken game. But if we're talking gameplay, goddamn, that demo was amazing. I want to play me some Tekken 8. 7, on the other hand, I didn't have a ton of experience with. I only played 7 in arcades. I played it pretty much the day it came out. I remember driving like 3 hours to the neighboring city just so I could play it. Much to my friends' disappointment, because they should have but they haven't tried with me. But then, like, the original version of Tekken 7 in arcades was a little bit disappointing because it
Fight.
didn't have like a real arcade mode. I mean, it did, but the arcade mode was like only maybe 3 or 4 stages long, I forget. And I found that very disappointing because it made it hard to learn the characters. Like, I don't like to learn. Like, if you watch this channel, you know I generally play a lot of arcade games, like single player versus the AI fighting. I think it's a very underrated type of gameplay, and there's a lot to enjoy in single player fighting games. But I do try to play some games kind of seriously and like properly learn them for competitive play. And in Tekken's case, I actually played 5, 6, and Tag 2. Like, I wouldn't say competitively in the sense that I was like going to tournaments or anything, but I was decently good at them. I could play them against real people online and in arcades and perform like well enough. I live in Japan, so I was playing mostly in Japanese arcades for that era of Tekken. It was okay. I could win sometimes. I lost a lot of games too, but not bad. In the case of Tekken Tag 2, I actually learned the game entirely in the arcade. In that, I guess it was a year or so where there was no console version. It was only in arcades, the original version of Tekken Tag 2. And I learned the whole game, including the new version of Jun Kazama, just in the arcade from the other people that were there playing. And it was a really fun experience. But the reason it was doable was because Tekken Tag 2 had a really good arcade mode. Good single-player arcade mode where you could really like sit there for like 30-40 minutes and practice your combos with your characters. You know, had a cool final boss, like, all this good stuff. And then Tekken 7 came out, and you could play for about 5 minutes before it'll kick you off the machine. And it just wasn't really learnable for me in that case. Like, I needed time to sit down and get used to my characters before I jumped into competitive play. And considering I had to drive like 3 hours to play the game, it just wasn't working.
Round 1.
That's the main reason that I didn't play Tekken 7 as much. And then when the console version came out, it was sort of competing with Dead or Alive 6 for my free time. And I know that Dead or Alive 6 is kind of an obscure game, it's a divisive game, but I actually really like Dead or Alive 6. So between the two, that was amazing. Well, Dead or Alive is, for lack of a better word, apparently dead. So we are back to Tekken. Because in my opinion, there's 3 fighting games that I would take seriously in the 3D space, and those would be, of course, Virtua Fighter, Tekken, and Dead or Alive. I like Soul Calibur, but I like it more as a single player game, not as much as a competitive game. But, you know, Virtua is, like, quite obviously been dead for, like, a very, very long time. Which is really upsetting because I think it's a popular list of the and, you know, Dead or Alive is also dead. But Tekken, they're still keeping the flag flying, and it's still just as good as ever. And I don't really think there are any bad Tekken games. Even 6, it was kind of rough, in my opinion, but it was still good. There was a lot to enjoy in that game. So yeah, really excited for 8. I'm gonna, once I do finally get a copy, I'm gonna sink my teeth to that one. That's gonna be the first fighting game, probably since DOA 6, that I'm gonna put some real, actual effort into learning to play semi-competitively online. And we'll probably be playing Jun Kazama. Not probably, definitely we're going to be playing Jun Kazama. But I'll probably learn Kazuya and Lily and Asuka at least as well. Might try some of the new characters, of course. It's kind of stupid to buy a fighting game and not actually try the new characters. And some of them look pretty cool, so I'm looking for it.
You win.
Amazing how good Tekken characters still feels in 2022. This still feels good, solid Tekken. do is sit forward.
You win.
You win. There's a little like blur to this, I think.
Blur?
It's a little blurry, the character models. I think it's something about the
The
animation.
king of Iron Fist tournament. Final stage.
The king of Iron Fist turned oh. Hotch forgot his clothes, man.
He's wearing diapers.
He does not give a shit. Comes out in that fundoshi, man. Can you imagine the American players' reaction to this when they first saw it? They must have been like, what the fuck? Oh.
Round one.
Hachi! Hey Hachi, he's just so cool. He's just so cool, he can get away with it, man. I pretty much like all the Mishima type characters. I don't like the Karate Jin from 4. I think he's cool, I just don't like to play with him. It's interesting that they changed his fighting style so much in this game. For those that don't have as much experience with the old Tekken games, like in Tekken 3 and Tekken Tag, the original Tekken Tag, Jin is basically just a sort of replacement for Kazuya. He's just Kazuya with a lot more moves, and he has some of the moves that Jun Kazama has as well, but for all intents and purposes, he's a standard, like, Mishima type character. But then in 4, they completely, like, change him. They give him a completely different fighting style, and a different look, just a different vibe. And he's pretty cool. I like him in this game, but I don't like him playing.
You win.
You are the champion! 5 minutes.
What? That's so fast.
That's a very fast game.
Yeah.
We should try story mode. we still have like 12 minutes left. Yeah, I told you it's short. When you don't have a lot of time, this is the one to play.
Welcome to the king of Iron Fist, Kazuya Mishima.
I'm gonna skip the text cutscenes because they're all in Japanese anyhow.
Come on.
Round one. Fight.
I sort of remember Steve being a complete bitch in this fucking game. He was really good in the OG Tekken game, if I remember. I was very fortunate when the first version of Tekken 5 came out. My university arcade actually had it in the US. Like in Japan, of course, you could play it, but in the US, man, that was not something that you found often. But yeah, we had the OG Tekken 5 on the first day it came out, so I played it a lot, and I remember I fucking hated Steve's guts back then. That was where I first started playing Asuka, but in like OG vanilla Tekken 5, Asuka is missing a lot of the moves that she has from like Dark Resurrection.
You win.
So I think she's not nearly as good in that version. Was Tekken a thing in Singapore? Ashy?
Fight.
Yeah. Remember, you fought with one player in the arcade.
Did I really? I don't even remember playing
You
Tekken.
did, and then he shake your head after you.
I beat him? I figured he would have beat him.
No. I guess.
Damn, I completely forgot about that.
You win.
I was always like
Round two.
watching KOF.
Fight.
Yeah, I know. You told me that.
Because my friend like plays
He never played the 3D side.
no,
A lot of times the players don't really mix between the two. Usually.
Tekken or other fighting games. Just KOF.
Just KOF. Mm.
Because in our arcade, like the big screen arcade,
Round one.
the big screen
Oh.
like, machine.
You have like the big screen in your arcade?
Yeah, we
Nice.
have the QF on that machine. So everybody is always queuing out after the machine. And my friend just said that whoever comes to challenge him, they will play with him, and then like the vendor will like leave the machine.
He must have been a really badass player. I think I
And
would have
then-
had like
Yeah.
pants
When I
against
was like watching at that time, he sort of like, you know, occupies the machine for the whole day.
Round 2.
Whole day is crazy, man. Yeah, he was the real deal. I've definitely never been that good at any game I've played.
Yeah.
I can see why
He
people
can
want
play
to watch.
everyone.
I can play everyone like a scroll. Not well. Boom. Also, King has a suitably large head in this game.
You win.
I feel like Tekken 8 King has a really small head. I don't know if anybody else thinks so, but I think so. He's got a huge body and a tiny little head.
Round 1.
But yeah. But that same arcade had Tekken.
Maybe I don't have. I forgot that. I think like that same arcade has KOF on the big screen or small.
It was really popular in Singapore, wasn't it? KOF. See, like, I think we were talking about this the other day when we were doing the SNK stream, but, like, SNK's games, like KOF in general, was, I wouldn't say it was unpopular exactly, but it was definitely, like, on the more obscure side in the US. And I grew up sort of in the Midwest, and in the Midwest, I didn't know anybody who played SNK games at all. Everybody played Tekken. When I was younger, I didn't like Tekken. I had to grow into Tekken.
I don't know, like back before I met my friend, I think I sort of just like, sometimes I walk around the arcade machines, just watch other people fighting. Yeah, play the fighting games and stuff. Maybe at that time I did see people playing Tekken and some other like fighting games. But after I met my friends, I like
Round 1.
I've only like watched
Fight.
people playing KOF because that's the game that I was playing on.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I was just kind of curious, like, what the arcade culture was like back then. It sounds like your arcade culture just generally lasted longer than the US's.
Maybe.
Even though we had Tekken 5 in the arcade, I think the entire group of people that regularly played it was probably maybe like 5 guys. Like, back then. Like, we played it a lot, but there just weren't many people. Like,
yeah, because Singapore is small, right? So like one arcade can serve
Round 2.
anyone, like, you know,
Fight.
if you even if you're living at one end of Singapore, it's easy to travel from one end.
yeah, I think that probably helps bring together the gaming community of Singapore.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to be, like, compact together. Yeah, because, as you know, I grew up in the countryside. Even university in my town was, like, nothing, very small compared to Singapore, obviously. Oh.
You win.
Let's have it.
Round 1. Fight.
Alran is another character that I found really irritating about this. My friends would just sit there and just mash the big button over and over.
You win. Round 2.
Seems like that would be,
Fight.
you know, obviously very easy to deal with, but when you're a kid and you don't really, like, know how to play games, it's very annoying.
You win.
Where are we at, Jin? Okay, we're near the end. Yeah, I can probably beat it before work today. Hey, Hachi time.
Okay, that's
He's back. I think he got close this time. He's got some modesty this time.
exactly
I think Heihachi is really fucking cool. I do. I think he's awesome. He's one of my favorite like antagonists in all of them. No, but like I think he's awesome. He's like Geese Howard awesome.
So you think he's cool?
I think he's yeah for real. Well, hey robot, what's up, man? We're gonna be finishing up this stream in about 5 minutes. We're enjoying some Tekken 8 divided by 2.
You win. Round 2. Fight.
But yeah, well, the original game. I think like back when I was playing Tekken 1 as a kid, I wasn't even good enough to ever hit it. So like, I never really saw it much. But like, from Tekken 2 onwards, yeah, I thought he was cool.
What makes you think he's cool?
He's cool. His moves are cool. Look at that ridiculous hair. He doesn't give a fuck. Like, he's like the ultimate like old man who doesn't give a fuck and can kick your ass. He will drink on the train, he will smoke on the train, and if you talk shit to him, he'll throw you out the train window. Like,
You win.
I love it. I love him. I love him. I think Heihachi is awesome. And he's goofy and funny. He's just a great character. He's a great character. Absolutely love him. Tekken 8 story mode. Tekken 8 story mode looks fun though. Oh man, like the little bit of it that I played in the demo, it seems so good. I can't wait to play through it. Also, what makes Heihachi interesting is he's not entirely like the bad guy or the antagonist of the series. Like this series like sets up Kazuya as the main character who's taking revenge on Heihachi for throwing him off a cliff when he was a kid. But then like Tekken 2 frames it very differently because you realize that Heihachi threw him off a cliff because he was possessed by this devil gene or whatever. So he had to get rid of him. And then turns out that Kazuya is basically unkillable and is possessed by Satan. So he comes back, and then Heihachi becomes kind of the hero of 2, I guess. And like, Heihachi is actually the main character of 2, which is a really huge twist. Like, really ballsy to make the like balding old guy the main character of your fighting game. I mean, that took some guts, man.
So who's the bad guy now?
I mean, basically still Kazuya. So even though Kazuya is the first main character, he is also the #1 main antagonist of the series. Heihachi is like, he is an antagonist, but he's not the main bad guy though.
Who's this guy?
This? Oh, the hanging guy? It's his son. It's him and Jun Kazama's son.
Whose son?
Jin. It's Kazuya and Jun's son. Jin.
His son?
Yeah.
He's so big.
Now, because Kazuya is very old now, even though he doesn't look that old, it's because of the devil gene. But this game takes place like 20 years after. Yeah, Kazuya has a son with Jun. Really, I know the story's very confusing. I'm not explaining it. But like Kazuya and Jun have a
Who's
son together.
Heihachi's
Jin.
wife?
She's in Tekken 7. She's the final boss of Tekken 7. But they don't talk much about her before that in the series. So you don't know.
Okay, so
But yeah, this is actually Kazuya's son.
this is his son. But then
This
his
is his
son is so big here.
Yeah, because he's like in his 20s. Like
Who?
Jin.
He is in his 20s.
Yeah, yeah.
Then what about his father?
Kazuya, I'm not sure. He's probably in his 50s at this point.
He doesn't look 50.
Because he doesn't age. Because of the devil.
Oh.
He's basically immortal.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
why.
That's so confusing.
This story is really confusing, but it's surprisingly entertaining. Like, yeah, it's really good.
Round 1.
He
Fight.
doesn't age, but he can grow up. Because you say his father tried to throw him off the cliff.
As a kid, but I think
Okay, what
I
the
forget like all the details of it, but he's not very powerful. Like the devil gene is not powerful at the beginning. What the fuck is the damage, dude? Ooh. It happens like
So he looked like this as a kid too?
no. So well, you never. He's a kid, and then he's killed, sort of, and manages to survive, and then ends up trying to take revenge on Heihachi for throwing him off a cliff as a kid. And then Heihachi straight up kills him in Tekken 2 by throwing him into an active like, so I guess he doesn't die as a kid, is what it is. But like in Tekken 2, Heihachi just fucking kills him straight up. Except that like they managed to bring him back from the dead, sort of, more or less, because of the Devil Gene. And so this version of Kazuya, story-wise, is way more powerful than the older versions. He's a little bit different. So in Tekken 3, he doesn't even make an appearance because he's just presumed dead. This is the game where he comes back.
Then who's the bad guy in Tekken 3?
Tekken 3, it's Heihachi.
I thought he's the good guy.
He just
Then who's the
is
good guy?
pursuing
Who's
his
the good
own interest. Jin. Jin is
his
the
son?
yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, Jin is the good guy, but the problem is that Jin also has the Devil Gene. He inherited it from Kazuya. And so, as I recall, it's been a while, but as I recall, in Tekken 3, Heihachi is trying to, like, keep Jin under control. I think he's trying to kill Jin because of his connection to the Devil Gene. Like, Heihachi considers it very dangerous and something that needs to be destroyed.
Okay.
Granted, my understanding of the story is, like, a bit vague, but more or less that's what happens. It's very confusing, because...
Every fighting game story is so ridiculous, man.
It's true, yeah, but, yeah, sometimes they're pretty fun. And then, you know what? Jin ends up being the main bad guy later on. Like, in Tekken 6, Jin is the main bad guy. He takes over, he defeats Heihachi, and I guess Heihachi's, like, undead grandfather, that, I'm not even gonna go into that, but he ends up, like, taking over the Mishima Saibatsu himself. And then he ends up being
the good guy.
I think 8 is, like, not clear at all.
Because you play him.
They're probably both bad guys, if I had to guess. But Jin is more, he's more like Heihachi in the sense that he's kind of in a gray zone. It's not super clear. But Kazuya is just straight up. In any case, I'm gonna have to get back to work. I had fun rambling about Tekken for 30 minutes, and extremely vague and highly inaccurate retelling of the story that left Ashley very confused. But I promise you, if you read the Wiki's version of the story, you'd be more confused. It's just a really confusing story. I'm hoping that Tekken 8's story is less confusing. I didn't get to play through the story until 7 because the arcade version doesn't have it. But yeah, Tekken 4 here, going back to what we're actually playing, still holds up. Pretty good. It's a good game. Kind of underrated Tekken game. I like it. I guess it's just that it's just not as good as the two games around it. It's not really as good as Tekken Tag, and it's not really even nearly as good as Tekken 5, because Tekken 5 is like one of the absolute best in the series. So because of that, it's not all that fondly remembered. But if you just take Tekken 4 for what it is without really comparing it to the other games around it, I think it's a really great game, actually. Like, to me, it's a lot better than Tekken 1 or 2. It's just not really quite as good as Tekken 3. So, and it doesn't really have the wow factor of 3, because 3 as well, like, the graphics were absolutely insane for a PlayStation 1 game. Like, unbelievable for a PlayStation 1 game. And even though Tekken 4 obviously has much better graphics than 3, it's not I mean, you can tell from looking at it. It's not really like pushing the limits of what the PS2 can do. It's just kind of a decent looking PS2. Tekken 5 looks really good on PS2. Yeah. Well, anyhow, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna go back to work because my lunch break is very finished. And anyhow, thanks for anybody who stopped by. I hope you guys had a good lunch. I hope you're not working too hard on this Friday afternoon. And we will see you in the next one.
_X says Sire.
See you later, Robot Man. Have a good one.